This morning, President Biden wraps up his trip here in San Diego, and his visit is shining the spotlight on one local race that could have a big impact on Congress. Thanks for being here at 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Neda Iranpour. The president rallying for Congressman Mike Levin, while Republican opponent Brian Marriott held a dueling rally. CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol live outside MCAS Miramar, where the president is expected to depart from later today. But he has another stop here in town this morning. Hi, Dana Marie.
Hi, good morning, Eric and Neda. That's right. President Biden will spend his day at a technology company. I'm going to share more information about that in just a bit. But first, I do want to share moments from both rallies last night. There was a very, very excited crowd to see both President Biden as well as hear from Brian Marriott. Take a listen.
It's going to determine the direction of the country for at least a decade or more. Not a joke.
We can make real progress on inflation, price gouging, corporate greed, public safety, and federally codifying a woman's right to make decisions about her own body.
Now, President Biden's energy, as well as Mike Levin, that was high and urgent with voters. Now, this race could be seen as a toss-up and is viewed by both parties as very critical to control the House. That's why President's visit yesterday was focused on safeguarding the two-term Congressman Mike Levin. Now, at the same time, last night, Levin's challenger Brian Marriott held a counter rally just a few miles away. Now, back in 2020, Marriott was defeated by Levin, but he believes this election will be different. He spoke about some hot topics like inflation, schools, and crime.
Bring the cost of things down, restore our energy independence. Energy prices factor into everything in terms of inflation. People need relief at the pump.
Now today, President Biden will be visiting a technology company headquartered out of Carlsbad. It's called Viasat, and it looks to highlight the CHIPS as well as Science Act. This was information from the White House. Now, we're learning that Viasat helps companies reduce their reliance on overseas chip manufacturers. So that is one thing that President Biden will be doing today before he takes off here in Miramar. I'm Dana Marie McNichol coming to you live for CBS 8.
Yeah, from Viasat, then he'll be heading out on to Pennsylvania next. Dana Marie, thank you for that update. And President Biden acknowledged the ongoing fight for freedom in Iran during yesterday's rally. Take a listen.
We're going to free Iran. They're going to free themselves pretty soon.
Iranian Americans were inside the rally holding pictures of Iran's colors and the flag saying free Iran on their phones. So he acknowledged them with what you just heard. We're going to free Iran. Hundreds came to Oceanside from all over Southern California. You see this long line of people rallying right outside of Mira Costa College as the president arrived. And then again, as the president's motorcade was leaving, which is the video you see now. So they were shouting no deal with the mullahs. The mullahs are the current leaders of Iran. Now, Iran's president responded hours later after President Biden's remarks with Iran was freed 43 years ago. Now, the Iranian president referring to the 1979 revolution, that was when many Iranians were forced to leave Iran, and those who stayed were stripped of many of their human rights.
Former President Trump was also on the campaign trail in Iowa, hinting at another presidential run. Take a listen to this.
In order to make our country successful and safe and glorious, I will very, very, very probably do it again, okay? Very, very, very probably.
There you have it. Very, very probably, he said. Many of his former advisors expect an official announcement within the next few weeks. You can vote in person ahead of Election Day on Tuesday. 39 voting centers are open right now across San Diego County. Another 179 locations will open tomorrow. You can also drop off your mail-in ballot at these voting centers, and we have a list of all the locations for you at CBS8.com.
And now, this just coming in here. U.S. employers added 261,000 jobs in the month of October. That was higher than expected. However, the unemployment rate rose to 3.7% from a 5-decade low of 3.5%. We're going to take a look at how Wall Street reacts to these latest numbers, all coming up here in our next half hour. The nation's top health official warning about a triple threat of viruses with the flu, RSV cases all rising, and COVID persisting. U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Xavier Becerra was in San Diego yesterday. He was urging people to get vaccinated and take precautions like wearing masks in crowded spaces and washing your hands often. And officials do predict that by next week, San Diego will top the number of flu cases for all of last season. Last year, around this time, we had 265 confirmed flu cases. This year, we've seen over 3,700 already. And now, this morning, a trip of a lifetime awaits a group of Vietnam veterans. Honor Flight San Diego taking off to our nation's capital.
CBS 8's Chris Groh live at San Diego International Airport with a closer look at this. And things are starting to build there behind you already.
Yeah, we're in the terminal. They're going to be boarding sometime around 7:10, 7:15. 95 Vietnam veterans here from all over San Diego County getting ready to take a trip of a lifetime to Washington, D.C. We actually have one of them joining us right now here, Steve Pettit from San Diego. Steve, you served in the Marine Corps. You said 69 to 78. What does this flight, getting together with all these veterans, kind of mean to you so far?
Oh, I'll tell you, it's awesome. It's amazing. I'm overwhelmed already. This is the first hour. And see everybody and talking to everybody. I mean, and the organization is unbelievable. I mean, think about this. It's a lot of folks and a lot of moving parts.
And when you make the decision to go on this honor flight, did you have any expectations or any kind of ideas of what it would be like?
A little bit. Actually, my brother went about 5 months ago up in Central Coast. He called me and said it was a great experience. In fact, he said it was a life-changing experience. And so I signed up and I got picked. It was unbelievable.
And then for, when you guys do come home, do you have any idea of kind of what that's going to feel like? I know that for a lot of people, maybe even coming home again is sort of another kind of extra step there.
That's right. It'll be a second coming home for a lot of people. It really will. I've seen some pictures, and yeah, it's going to be an emotional event for sure.
All right, well, Steve, thank you so much. I want to bring in Holly here. Holly, a mainstay here with Honor Flight, and I just want to give the people at home an idea here of exactly how hard it is to put this together. But here we are doing 2 honor flights now this year with all Vietnam veterans. What went into this?
Oh my goodness. Well, we took our first all Vietnam veteran flight back in September. We got home, and the minute we got home, it was time to get ready for this flight. And so we had about 5 weeks between 2 flights, and it's been amazing. We wanted to go big. I mean, we've got 60,000 Vietnam vets in San Diego County, so we wanted to go big, and we did.
And what are some of the things that they are going to be doing in D.C.? Obviously, we had that first trip, that as you pointed out, was just a couple months ago, but now we're doing this again. What are some of the things they'll be doing?
Yeah, they're going to see the Lincoln, Korea, Vietnam walls. So the Vietnam Wall will spend the majority of the time. I know a lot of these men, they're all men on this trip because women weren't allowed in combat back in the 1970s. So the men will have friends that they want to visit on the wall. So we'll spend the majority of the time there, and then we'll also see changing of the guard at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. We'll end our day at the National Museum of the United States Navy.
Well, Holly, thank you so much this morning. I know you got a busy morning, so I'll let you get to it. Thank you so much, Holly. A lot of moving parts here inside the terminal. Again, they're about to catch their flight in about an hour and 15 minutes, so we're going to send things back to you guys at the desk. And again, a really amazing moment here to see all of these veterans in one place. And then again, when they come home, it's that second coming home. Many of them finally getting the one that they deserve.
I love the buzz, the energy that you can feel in that live shot behind him.
They're so excited.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
it takes a lot of coordinating to make all this happen. So it's great that there's efforts are being made. Chris, thank you. We'll see you soon again. Winter is over, a month away, of course, end of December, but local mountains, look at this, already have some snow. So we're showing you a live look right now at Mount Laguna, that camera that's set up by the Laguna Mountain Lodge. They did get that dusting of snow. It looks like a couple inches there from what we had the past couple of nights. Cold enough, right?
We send Evan to the roof there and just throw a ruler in there to see, how long it is. Mammoth Mountain opening tomorrow, about a week earlier than anticipated. Some ski resorts in Northern California got over a foot of fresh snow in the past couple of days. The cold temperatures, snowfall allow a base layer of snow to form and provide the perfect conditions for resorts to make more snow.
Yeah, they need it to be below freezing, which it is on the mountains, for them to crank up the snow machine.
And this is where the forecast comes in handy. I mean, knowing that early next week more wet weather is on the way, those ski resorts can open up and have pretty good confidence that they're going to get more in just the next couple days. So it's a dry weekend out there. We're going to encourage a gradual temperature warm up. Here's that live look. You saw Mount Laguna. I mean, snow up there on the roof. Snow from our Laguna Observatory inventory areas, and that's where we're still tapping into some cooler temperatures to kick off your Friday morning. It is time for the weekend, and with it, cooler temperatures kick off our day. But for your Saturday and Sunday, we're going to pick up on just kind of the edge of that ridge of high pressure. That'll help to warm us up just ever so slightly and bring us a very mild, dry, sunny weekend. Overnight lows are really the only concern that we have, because take a look at the 30s that we're tapping into right now. Poway is at 39 degrees right now, 38 in Escondido, 35 in Ramona, 36 in Julian. This absolutely warrants a couple spots of maybe some frost. Could warrant a freeze advisory or frost warning, something of the sorts. However, currently we don't have anything in effect for us. Mount Laguna is at 33 degrees right now, 50 in Carlsbad. So for the forecast today, we're going to warm up once the sun comes up in about an hour, and we're going to make it to the 60s. That's our forecast high for today. Yes, this is cooler than average for this time of year. We'd mostly be in the low 70s, but it is at least warmer than where we were yesterday. Yesterday, the mountains peaked in the 40s. Today, we're going for 53, 74 for the deserts. Here is that clear sky view for us in San Diego. Clouds are moving in from northern California, and so San Francisco under a decent number of those clouds right now. This is kind of the leading edge of that trough of low pressure that's going to be sinking our way by the beginning of next week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, after we've enjoyed this mild, quiet weekend, well, we've got some wet weather back in the forecast. Cooling temperatures for Monday and Tuesday, and more rain expected. Let's switch gears, talk about traffic this morning, where things have been very quiet on the roads. No big surprise. It is, of course, Friday morning, and we'll take you to just one spot where we have a stalled vehicle. So this is just south of Oceanside. Looks like the right-hand shoulder is blocked with a stalled vehicle on the 5 southbound. This is at Poinsettia Lane, just farther south of the 78. Not seeing backups in either direction right now. Looks like this is just pushed over to the right-hand shoulder, so you shouldn't be seeing too many impacts as we start off the morning.